everybody, welcome to McFarland Minutes, our weekly podcast hosted by Natalie McFarland, me, and founder and president of McFarland Productions, and Scout Foster, our outreach marketing manager. In these episodes, you can expect deleted scenes, in-depth campaign reviews, project highlights, marketing concepts, book reviews, and a deep dive into the creative process at Off Your Rocker Films, and of course, invaluable lessons on mentorship, leadership, and the business of it all. We are so excited to be releasing our episodes every Sunday as your soft launch to Monday. Hey everybody, welcome to McFarland Minutes, your soft launch to Monday. This week, episode 26, we have one of our good friends, Nick Luciano, here. I met Nick through social by following him, and I think we mutually became sort of social fans of each other, and then eventually got to work with each other once we ended up at the same place at the same time. How's it going, Nick?
It's going good. It's going good. Yeah, it was back in the day, and I think it was TikTok I first saw your stuff. And I
think it was TikTok.
Yeah, and I was like, man, this girl's good. I'm going to follow her. So then we became mutuals, and just, I don't know, we ended up in the same place in the same room. We're like, hey, I know you. So that's kind of how social goes.
I think we finally got to sort of work together with the world's largest buckle when Montana Silversmiths got their Guinness deal, and you did that's not a knife.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
For us. Yeah, that was perfect. It was there. We were looking for someone to walk in the door and do the Crocodile Dundee, that's not a knife, this is a knife sort of deal. And in walks Nick, and we're like, Nick.
Yeah.
That's who we needed to walk in.
Yeah, that's a great, that's my favorite story about Judy, because she's like, I need a good looking cowboy. I was like, okay, I'll do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, that was so awesome. Well, Nick, you have a very cool story, from influencer to Tratter House deal to your mental health group. Kind of give us an intro to Nick. Can you give us a little bit about you?
Yeah. Most people don't know that I was an engineer before all of this. So
what? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So my goal from the beginning was like, I'm going to be an engineer, right? So I went to college to be an engineer. I love physics. Like, in the background, I'm a nerd, right? And that's why I really love connecting with camera people and videographers and cinematographers and all that stuff, because I love what goes into all of it, and that's kind of how I built my platform. But mental health deal kind of starts at 16. Really struggled with that at 16. Through this journey, I've overcame a lot of battles, from engineer to quitting engineering to full-time influencer and entrepreneur. But I graduated college in 2019 from UNT, University of North Texas, and I quit that job in 2020 during COVID, and I was actually up in Montana shooting a video or a project for, I'm pretty sure it's ski joring, or is it skijoring, however they say it?
Ski joring.
Yeah, there's always they always say it differently. It was my first project shooting one of those events. And I just happened to shoot a TikTok that went crazy viral, and is the third most liked TikTok in the entire planet. And it just changed the trajectory of my career, and ever since then I've been doing social full time. So that's kind of the short gist of it. But
did you have any want to do social before you posted that video, or did that video kind of change your way of thinking about social?
So I was sitting at my desk in 2019, and I downloaded TikTok because I had heard people talking about it, and I always remember the first videos I seen were Charlie D'Amelio doing those dances in her parents' basement, and she was going super viral. I was like, how is this girl getting millions of likes per video? Because I've seen, like, I was on social media, and I was like, I've never seen videos get millions of likes, right? So I kind of studied it for a little bit, and I was like, I could do that. That doesn't look that hard, right? So prior, I had always been on Instagram. I've done little like 10% affiliate codes here and there. Always kind of wanted to be like an influencer in the background. But obviously being an engineering student, you're always studying, you're always working on something. And then working full-time on campus, being a supplemental instructor for physics and political science, I was just always at school. Like, I never really never had time to post, but it was always scrolling in my free time. But then when I downloaded TikTok in 2019, COVID came around, and I was able to work from home, and I had nothing better to do than make content because, like, being an engineer, I can only design so much, but I can't go in and build it, and projects are, at a standstill because, like, our whole team was always in the office, so working from home was a huge transition. So I was in the era of, like, every 30 minutes just go wiggle my mouse and make sure I'm active. You know what I mean?
Love that.
And go shoot a TikTok.
Nice.
So
sorry to your old boss if you're listening to this.
Sorry, Brad.
Yeah, I actually worked for an underground engineering firm that specialized in mostly pump stations for stormwater and wastewater and that kind of stuff prior to going full-time at McFarland Productions. So I am not an engineer. I came from the project management world, but that's an interesting line of work, and I don't think I knew that about you either. I don't think I knew that you were an engineer ahead of time.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I actually went to an event last night to help some gals with some social media, and one guy was like, "Do you actually know what you're doing, or you just post and hope it works?" And I was like, one, not a lot of people know this, I was with an engineer, so my brain is wired for systems for success. So all the success I've had has been a low-key system in my brain that I've just implemented, right? So there's always a system in an engineer's brain. There's never undoing this. It's a blessing and a curse.
I feel like you and Natalie could have like a whole support group for each other, because I just know this is absolutely speaking her language, and I'm like, can't relate actually on the system thing. I'm not a systems person, but yeah, I can just see Natalie really lighting up over here in my little
kind of, yeah.
Yeah. If you guys want me to just exit, we can just shut down the whole thing. But okay, so you started social media. You had a very successful viral video. What comes after that? Like, did you start doing influencing right away, or like kind of how did that start?
Yeah, so it kind of put me on the map. I went from from 2019 to 2020, it took me like about a whole year to gain 100,000 followers. Very slow crawl. Then I started gaining some traction, and when I quit my job I worked for the Army. When I quit that, I had about 250,000 followers, right? And I got like word didn't spread around base, but like people would always ask me, what do I do with social media? And they're like, oh, it's just silly. You don't even have that many followers. And they asked me how many followers I had. I'd be like, I got like 200,000. And they're like, oh, okay. But they'd still make fun of me because it's the Army, right?
Sure.
And it was like, it was still kind of new then. But then, November of 2022, I believe it was. Or is it November of 20? Let me check real quick. I always got to look at the timestamp of this video. Oh, snap.
Since
it was
COVID,
November.
I actually have...
Oh, I know exactly what video you're talking
Yes.
about from that like little tiny little sound.
Yes.
It didn't
February
take much.
2021 is when my entire life changed. So I started in 2019, and then through 2020 was the initial building. And then I started my own clothing brand, messing around with Shopify. Merch sales started to match my paycheck, and I quit in November of 2020, like heart of COVID, and everybody thought I was crazy.
Dang.
And I was like, my dad hated me. Like, he was like, you're giving up this great government job with benefits that will carry over into retirement and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm just not happy, bro. I'm just not happy. So, so after that, I got to about 500,000 followers from November to February because I was really grinding. And then I hit like a plateau, and I was like, I got to do something different. And then I filmed that video, and I gained 500,000 followers in less than 24 hours. and it was
Oh my
nuts.
gosh.
Like because I knew it was the one that was, because it only takes one, especially if you want to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Did you
then
have to just like turn your phone off and like wait for the madness to end, or was it just like a chaotic mess
it
of
was
notifications?
a chaotic mess of notifications, and I like it was just one of those, like, I was proud of myself moments because I knew it would happen. Um, but it was nuts. Like, I would be at 620,000 followers. I'd refresh my phone, 640. It's like it was
Dang.
it was insane, and I remember when I was leaving Montana on that trip, I was about to hit the million follower mark, and there was no Wi-Fi on the plane, so I was like refreshing, and it was like 999.9, and then the Wi-Fi went out, and I never got to see it until I
Oh no.
landed. I never got to see it until I landed.
How many
So
did you have when you landed? Was it like well past?
no, it was at the 1 million mark, but
Nice.
then
Nice.
from the weeks on, I just kept the momentum, and I went from 1 million to 4 million in like a couple weeks.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's wild.
Dang.
it was
So,
crazy.
how you said you knew it was going to happen, right? You created this video, you knew this was going to be the one. How? How did you know that was going to work?
I didn't know it was gonna work, but I knew one was. You're just bound to hit, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you have like one of my best pieces of advice is, like, people who want to be content creators is like, go make 700 videos and then come talk to me, and you'll have a lot less questions, right? So it's
Mhm.
literally just um when you make so much content, because I was posting like 7-8 times a day, so like over a week I'm pumping out 50 plus videos, so like over a month that's what, 200 plus videos. There's bound to be one in there that's going to do well, right? And then you take your top performers and you just repeat. And again, that's that engineering,
Mhm.
that system. And I knew there was going to be a format of one that would just do it for me. I didn't know it would
Mhm.
go. I didn't know it would go as big as it is, as it does. It's still, it is still my most viewed video every month. I don't
That's
understand.
crazy.
Like, all my notifications are still in that video. It's still popping up on people's For You page. I don't know how, but
You know what's funny about that is like that's kind of true across all marketing platforms, right?
hmm
So we worked with, and I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but we, a long time ago, this is back in the day, we did some work for a tour company that's based in Hawaii. We were redoing their entire website, and we were working with another agency who was doing a number of other PR type and ad spend type activities for them. But one of the main things that they were concerned about was do not change the URL of a blog that talks about the 5 best burgers in Hawaii. That had been their top blog for 10 years. It was the number one reason why people converted to
yeah.
buying a tour.
hmm
Isn't that wild? It's wild how long some of that stuff lasts, you
Oh,
know?
yeah, and I'll do it to this day, and I'll, like, it's weird. I'll just lip sync the song to this day, and people still remember my face.
Do
It's
you
like,
do
Yeah.
you
it's crazy.
do you find it like slightly irritating that after all these years and all these videos you made that that's still your number one?
Um, not
Or
r-
does that feel like a win every month?
like I'm not ashamed of it by any means. I'm very proud of it
Right.
because it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's something that put me on the map. But I think in my later years, being more of a content creator than an influencer, I'm trying to add a
Mm-hmm.
lot of value. So when I
Mm-hmm.
go to people that I want to serve, and they say, "Hey, your videos helped me a lot," like,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the mental health stuff, that's really good. But like, it makes me feel good. But like, I've been recognized in different countries because of that video. So that's been pretty cool.
What?
Yeah. So
That's cool.
like,
That's awesome.
last year I went to Ireland, and I was just walking a college campus, and like, this guy was like, "Sugar Crash guy."
Oh my
That's
gosh.
awesome.
Yeah. So
That's
I'm never
funny.
gonna escape it at this point. It's just like, it
Right.
is what it is, and I'm like, yeah, that's me. So
Yeah.
So
Gosh.
you did some 10% to coupon or 10% affiliate code kind of stuff. You get this viral video. What would could you consider like your first major brand deal, like working with a brand?
Harriet. Yeah.
I figured that might be the answer.
Yeah. I mean, well, through there, like I actually worked with like Red Bull, but I worked with their Sweden, like the actual, because
Oh.
Red Bull originated in Sweden. So I did some stuff with Red Bull Sweden, which was like, that was cool. But my first major long-term partnership like that has lasted up till this day has been Ariat. So we signed in 2022 and we've been together ever since.
So how did that come to be?
Yeah, that's a funny story. So I'm sure you guys know Ezekiel Mitchell, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had seen some of my transition videos. So like I didn't always want to do the Sugar Crash videos, so I did some transition videos with some like, Western fashion and different things like that too. And he's like, "Bro, we got to do one together." So we kind of linked up on social, and I think it was 2022 when we were at the NFR, and we linked up with Zeke, and it was me, Caden, and Blake, where Tratters had already taken off. So like Tratters was another trend that we had all kind of come together for. And so I've been an Ariat supporter from the beginning. Like I've always worn their jeans, their caps, their shirts, their boots, everything. And I was like, guys, so we were walking around the NFR, the convention center, and we had a line of people following us. I was like, let's go over to Ariat and take some pictures.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we went over to Ariat and took some pictures, and then they were like, "Who the heck are you guys?" I was like, "My name's Nick. This is my crew. We're social media people." And then we just kind of kicked it off from there. Like we were just regular dudes that have a following that obviously like you could see that people know who we are. And then just got in talks with them. I shot him a pitch deck, and the rest was history. So yeah, it was cool.
I know you said you're trying to go into more of the content creation side than the influencing side, but I work with all of our influencers and content creators and things. So I have actually kind of slightly a selfish question here, but I think it would be helpful for y'all and just like both sides of the like influencing content creation UGC world. What are a few things that you wish brands knew that they obviously don't know when they come to talk to y'all about quotes or content or influencing affiliate, any type of work like that? Or maybe like the most like I just
FAQs.
yeah,
Maybe.
like what are your most asked questions, or like what do you wish they knew? Like so I'm asking so I can be better at my job, honestly, is where this question is coming from.
No, yeah, I think with brands, I think most people are pretty good. I wish the biggest thing that not that I wish brands knew, but I think more brands need to lean into is like to trust an influencer with their audience. Like I understand the whole FTC guidelines thing, but like it kills performance. Like so don't try to like over campaign an influencer who already has a naturally trusting organic audience. So like I think sometimes brands need to realize when you try to take an influencer that like does everyday lifestyle stuff and script them, it's not going to work. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's sometimes it's hard to, that's sometimes I'm like, because I do a lot of different roles from like campaign managing to even just managing like the deal itself. And I'm like, this influencer you don't want to script because, it's just, it's not going to feel natural to their audience. And that's what you want.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I feel like something that some brands, and tell me like if you feel like this is part of it, I feel like something that some brands need to consider is like keep your in-house creative director sort of out of it, right? Like hand like the general guidelines, right? Like Montana Silversmiths has an S on the end, right?
Oh,
like
yeah,
little things like that, like the colors, the logo, the hey, we never talk about this particular thing, whatever it is, right? But beyond that, kind of keep the creative director out of it, right? I think that a lot of influencers or content creators are kind of their own creative director.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, I think if someone special that could come in and help somebody step into that with a brand, right? So like obviously with the
Mhm.
Trotter House, I help Blake and Roy a lot with that, where it's like here's a product here, but you might be a little bit lost, but here's how we can like curate it to sound better, and like
Mhm.
because it's a product you use and you love, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you want to hit those key points. Like you don't want it to be like disrespectful to the brand in any way. So it's definitely it's a balancing act, but it's definitely just being more trusting with because I've had some not horror stories, but it's just like I'm really proud of a video and I submit it and they're like no, and I'm like come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's and like I've had instances where I'm like I'm gonna post it anyway just to show you that it'll perform better, and it does. So it's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that's the only thing I wish brands knew.
You almost can't overregulate it, you know? I feel
Mm-hmm.
like influencers, like the best influencers out there, you know, you are one of them as an influencer and as a content creator, understand who it is that they're talking to on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
The brand understands who they're trying to reach. What you have to decide is, are those two sets of people the same sets of people? And if they
Mm-hmm.
are, let the influencer do their thing. If
Yeah.
you're worried about reaching the right people within somebody else's audience and you think it's a no, you
Mm-hmm.
maybe didn't pick the right influencer, right? Like,
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it's your audience, not ours.
Yeah. And Scout, to answer your question too, I wish brands would be more clear on they're focused on conversions or brand awareness, right? Because it's like
Mm.
I've worked with a lot of companies that it's like we could have so much fun making content, but it's not going to lead to conversions. But you're going to get millions of
Mhm.
Right.
eyeballs. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because it's all different parts of the funnel. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
but brands don't understand, like, okay, because obviously converting a customer is all a funnel, right?
Mhm.
But brands are like, make content and we want the whole funnel. I'm like, that's pick a level, dude.
Not
That's not
gonna
going to
happen.
work.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we want to attract an audience, we want viral ass stuff. That's not going to convert. It's top funnel, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if we, and that's why I tell brands like we need to do longer campaigns with top funnel stuff to attract the audience. Let's nurture them on the product a little bit, and then convert them with stories and hard sells, right? So you
Mhm.
got to warm.
Mm-hmm.
Brands don't understand that you have to warm your audience up to a product or a service.
Absolutely.
So that is really annoying.
That was
So
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
How
taking
many
notes over
in
here.
how many
Thank you.
influencers do you think you have talked to or have come to you for advice that understand that funnel? Do they
Very
understand?
very few, very few, because
So
it's
how do you find them
uh,
as a brand?
Stellar question. Thank you.
now how do you find them as a brand? You find influencers who run their own brands, who run their own businesses, right? So
Mm.
like the only reason I know that stuff is because like obviously I have an online community. I've done Shopify, I've done e-commerce, I've done the merch booths at NFR at FFAs. Um, I've done speaking gigs. I've just the past since I started this, the past 6 years has been such a learning experience as far as business that a lot of these influencers don't even know how to start an LLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, the number one question I get from influencers is like, how do I know if I need a manager? And I'm just like, it depends on like your level of knowledge. Like if you don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
negotiate a contract or even sign it via DocuSign, maybe you need a manager, right?
Sure. Sure.
But yeah, so there's very few, but the ones that you do find that understand that are going to be entrepreneurs and business owners for sure.
Mhm.
Cool.
So
I
Yeah.
think
No,
you
I
make
love that answer.
Yeah, I think you make a great point there. Even just with some of the people that we've worked with, our I don't want to say the best ones we've worked with because I don't want people to listen to this and be like, I was a really good influencer for you, but I don't own it. Or I've never had an apparel line. But like some of the most professional ones and the ones who get it, like own their own apparel line or a product of some sort. So that's a stellar answer, and I feel like that just put it together in my brain for me. So thank you for that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's like as an influencer, if you've never had the pressure of making your own money, you don't know how to make other people money.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's a
enlightening
great way of
stuff
putting
is
it.
happening here.
I
Ah,
knew Nick was the right guy for this.
that is it. Um, okay, I kind of want to branch over a little bit into your mental health. Uh,
Favorite.
I want to call it an initiative. I don't know if you want, maybe if you want to talk a little bit about your mental health platform, maybe
Hmm.
is more the right term. I have a few questions for that too.
Yeah, it's more of my passion project, right?
Hmm.
So, but yeah, go ahead. You can fire away.
Well, tell us a little bit about it first, because
Okay.
like the
Because
ins
you
and
have
out of
like a
it,
community behind it and a
Hmm.
few things. So
right?
Yeah.
tell us a
Yeah.
little bit what
So,
you
like
got
I
on.
said earlier, like when I was 16, I really struggled with suicidal thoughts and anxiety, and I never
Hmm.
really understood what it meant. I really thought that the world was a better place without me in it, just because I didn't understand that I was being conditioned by the people around me and my environment, right? Like from
Hmm.
high school, from extracurricular activities to sports, everything. I was just always trying to fit in. I was so lost. And luckily, like Jesus Christ saved me from all of that. Like if I didn't find God, I wouldn't have I don't think I would be here. And that plays a huge part of my faith plays a huge part in it as well. Um, but like I said, I struggled with that when I was 16, and now 12 years later, I was able to unwire all of that conditioning and rewire new pathways in my brain for success, right? Like when we talked
Hmm.
earlier, like I knew something was going to hit. Now it's kind of like mid journey because I'd already become an engineer, and college was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Um, Even though I don't do engineering anymore, it taught me problem solving to a degree that I am so happy with. Like
Hmm.
I had to rely on nobody but me to get through college. I lived in an apartment by myself. Um, had a couple roommates for the last 2 years, but mainly just did everything by myself. Went to the gym by myself. Did everything by myself, and I taught myself how to be me, and that is one of the
Hmm.
it's one of the hardest things for people to do nowadays because there's so
Hmm.
many distractions. Like people don't even know how to sit with their thoughts for more than 5 minutes, and it breaks my heart because I know how hard that can be. But like when you sit in that, that's where growth happens. So like that's why my slogan is bulletproof mindset, because being bulletproof isn't about like bullets ricocheting off of you. It's like you're gonna feel it. It's gonna hurt. Might get knocked down,
Hmm.
but you're gonna get back up, and you're gonna be
Hmm.
stronger, right?
Hmm.
So, and then that's why I've kind of curated I think a year and a half ago, I curated a whole 8 week mental health plan. I took the last 10 years of my life and said, what did I do to go from suicidal, anxious kid to moving out of my hometown to now graduating college with a 4.0? Because that was another thing. I was like, I'm not getting a B. I cannot get a B. So I got all A's in engineering. And then I got a great job afterwards. And then quitting that to become a full time influencer with millions of followers and six
Hmm.
figures a year in revenue. And I took all of that last 10 years and how I unwired my conditioning and rewired it for success and put it into an 8 week plan that if you follow 8 weeks over and over and over again, there's going to be growth. And that's where
Hmm.
I created called Bulletproof, where whenever we do an annual launch, we kind of walk through this 8 week program together. And then throughout the year, I'll do different calls and guest calls and things like that just to help them be aware of certain conditioning or certain thought patterns or certain paradigms that they might
Hmm.
need shifted. So
Hmm.
it again, this is my nerdy like engineering brain, because our brain is systems, right? It's just like content is systems. Our brain is systems. So you can literally rewire your brain to do anything. So that's kind of where my mental health comes from.
Cool.
So
Yeah, that's awesome.
mhm.
A little, I'm gonna nerd out a little bit here.
Okay.
So I'm in grad school currently. I'm did not go the thesis route. I went more of the project route.
Hmm.
But my project is on social media managers and like how they handle burnout and why do they burn out quicker on average than other like marketing positions.
Hmm.
So this is a little bit of research for me, but do you have number one, if you have any thoughts on that, I would love to hear because I know you're in social media. I know that is a full-time career for you. So maybe even you experience something opposite of that, which is like I would love to hear that as well. But my real question is, what are a few systems that companies can do to maybe provide like a little relief there? Or I don't think we're ever gonna not have any burnout. I think that's just like
Hmm.
a part of life, but maybe lower those numbers just a little bit. I know you're a systems guy, so
Yeah,
I would
I
love
would
to hear some of
say,
the systems.
yeah, burnout is huge, and it
Mm-hmm.
sucks, especially in social media managers because they're pressured to post everything and anything, and if they miss it, they're like, oh, I didn't get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I understand, I've talked with the girls at PBR, I've talked with PBR teams. Like, there's so much going on there. It's like you got video rides to be edited, you got graphics to be uploaded. Like I watched the team, like when I went to the PBR draft too, just watch the social media teams work, and like it's a lot of pressure because you
Mm-hmm.
got to keep your audiences integrated with that. But at the same time, I feel like there is a beautiful uh, balance between that and storytelling. So
Mm-hmm.
like I mean, and Natalie, you know, the story is always king. I don't
Hmm.
I don't care what you say. You can have the flashiest camera or whatever, but if you don't know how to tell a good story, then people aren't going to watch.
Yeah, you could do it on a
Hmm.
disposable camera, click Thompson,
Hmm.
and,
Yeah,
and still come up with something if there's a story there. Yeah, for sure.
exactly. So like for brands, I think social media managers need to understand how to tell a story a little bit better as far as like, you know, the build up, climax, come down, resolution, do it again, right? So like finding and interweaving those stories inside of social media will help a lot because it you want to keep your audience guessing, right? You
Mm-hmm.
don't want to keep them, and that's it's the same thing with funnels like in sales, right? You want to work through the funnel to eventually make sure your conversions are always the best, right? So if you're telling a different part of the story and you're leaving your audience on different parts of the story each post, they're going to come back for more. So, granted, it's hard to do because it depends on what industry you're in, but the best brands don't focus on the product or the service. They focus on the story or
Mm-hmm.
the emotion that they feel. So, and a lot of entrepreneurs will say that too. With like, people aren't buying the product, they're not buying the service, they're buying how you make them feel. So,
You just validated our entire existence. That is like, I mean, we talk about that relentlessly. I feel like that, like, yeah, the products are great, right? We need you to have quality products. We need those products to last. We need them to, fit or whatever or work, whatever the thing is, right?
mhm.
But the story is not the product. The story is what you did with it or how it helped your life,
Yeah.
right? So, like, yeah, telling a story for sure.
Mhm.
I'm going to interject a question here.
Yeah.
So, we have had several social media managers at McFarland Productions. Many of them are still with us, but in different capacities, right? But I think you brought up a really good point that people are just inundated with this amount of noise. And I
Mhm.
think as a social media manager, noise is sort of the name of the game for in-app management, right? You're scrolling, you're commenting, you're trying to be a human on social media that isn't just like shouting and then leaving, right?
Mhm.
Like you need to be there and interacting. Um, how do you manage, being real, being interactive without getting yourself to a point where you're just like, I can't take even a minute more of this scrolling,
Mhm.
like how do you personally manage that to try to avoid, overwhelm, burnout, or cut out the noise?
Um, that's a great question because burnout is another big topic, especially in the mental health space and social media space. Um, but I think I lean into the vulnerability of it, right? So like obviously if it's a brand deal, I'm feeling burnt out, I'm gonna wait till I'm recharged to give the brand all I can.
Mm-hmm.
But like as far as my social media, I'm not afraid to just prop up the phone and talk. No fancy editing, no cuts, no nothing, right? So I think there's vulnerability in that because people think it should be a certain standard, right?
Sure.
But um and I don't want to say lower the standards, but just if you are going through something, be vulnerable about it. Not everything has to be a highlight reel. So, like even I'm a mental health advocate, and I talk about when I'm struggling with my mental health. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I think, like, to answer your question, I just think that when you lean into the vulnerability of it, like it shows your human side, and that's what people want to see, right?
Cool.
They like that in alone tells its story, right?
Awesome.
Because there's
Yeah.
so many figures out there too that like they have this rah like if you're not this, then you're this. Like if you don't have a six pack, if you don't drive a supercar, if you don't have this level of success, then you're nobody. And like
Mm-hmm.
that's not somebody I want to be. And I think that's made its way into the brands too, right? It's like show your failures, document your failures, show all of it. Like people don't want to just see the highlights; they want to see, and that's like on the social media management side too. It's like the managers don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we messed up. Oh, that didn't have a certain tone to it, or like you never know what gold is hiding in the content. So like I like when I look at influencers content, especially that I work with, I'm like, it's fine, just post it. Like nobody's paying that close attention, right?
Yeah.
So like be vulnerable, show your mistakes, and just don't be afraid of failure. Pretty much, I think that's the
Yeah.
biggest the biggest thing because everybody's just so in their heads.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Scout, you love that trend here that's been going around lately that it was like stuff that, what is it, like stuff that we were afraid to post.
Oh yeah, like uh a photo I or like we hesitate to post today, and then it's like this perfectly shot photo, and then you swipe and it's like things we posted without hesitation in like 2010 or something.
yeah,
It's like terrible photos. Like they were they're just not so like aesthetically pleasing anymore, I feel like is the entire trend, but I think it's so funny. I love it. I send it to Natalie all the time. I'm like, "Can we participate in this because I." She's
and
like,
there's even
"No."
an era of de-influencing now. Like let me
Right.
Yeah.
de-influence
Yeah,
you
that is
from
the thing.
this. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
personally like that because not everything is like shiny and rainbows.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
For
Um,
sure.
you mentioned a little bit having a team that supports you. What are some things as a leader that you support them with their own mental health and burnout journeys?
that's a good question. Me being a leader, I'm always trying to push people to be their best,
Mhm.
and I get some flack for it, but it's just me. I recognize the patterns where people are, you know, they're self-serving thought patterns or they're anxious thought patterns. I'm really good at picking up on patterns on people where they're struggling.
Mhm.
So like as a leader, I try to make them aware of those patterns. Um, and I always tell people, like, I just try to make them aware. But I always tell people, especially in social media, as to being like a social media coach, like, you need to study your social media. Like, if you're, and again, this is just me being the nerd I am. Yeah, I do brain rot every now and then, but most of the time I'm favoriting adding to a playlist, like, what can I do next? I'm always
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
studying my feed. So I like to, as a leader, I like to point out, not nitpick, but point out areas of improvement where it's like,
Mhm.
okay, this is good, but your hook could be a little bit stronger. You could reframe this shot a little bit more.
Mhm.
And I like to do that with clients too. Um, but yeah, and it all stems like from mental health because it's crazy. That's why I started it because like the way you make content is a direct reflection of how you view yourself. So like
Hmm. More on that, please.
yeah, so like I was working last night. I went to an event with the Miss Rodeo Texas pageant girls, right?
Oh,
Mhm.
cool.
And they had an assignment to do like some social media stuff. And I didn't go into the mental health side of it, but like you can just always tell like when someone is way in their head with how they speak, with how they talk, with how they sound, with their angles, right? So like, and I used to be this way. Like you can tell a lot about someone when they make a video. Oh, I hate my voice. Oh, I hate the way I look in that. And that's like that is a deeper rooted issue than you have time to unpack right now. But
Right.
nobody really cares that much. Only you do.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I can tell within the first 5 seconds if somebody has spent some time with themselves in the mirror or they haven't. So I hope that answers your
I'll
question.
write that down.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's all really good stuff.
Mhm.
I think that the only thing that I can think of, and you tell me, but I think one of the things we really haven't covered that much is Tratter House. Can you
Oh
maybe
yeah.
just tell us the story of Tratter House and how that happened and where it is now and
hmm
some of the stuff you guys are doing there?
Yeah. So that started like I met Blake. So Blake is he's BMO. He's the co-founder with me. Um, we he started to be affiliate for my brand in like 2020. He started selling some hats. And then in 2020, the whole Tratters trend took off, and is a different way to say tractor. So he loves collecting toy tractors, and he'd play with toy tractors on the floor and put on this kid voice and do like funny reaction videos and stuff. And it just blew up out of nowhere. And crazy enough, another kid in Nebraska, his name's Zach, who also was a co-founder of Tratters, the word. He could do the same exact baby voice, and those kids were destined. Like, talk about God's
They
timing.
needed to be
They
friends.
were destined. Like everybody, like they had mullets. They could do the exact same baby voice, and it just went nuts. So, um, I went to them. I was like, you guys need some merch, guys. Like, you guys need some merch. So, I helped them create some merch on my store, and then shortly after that, I went viral with Sugar Crash, and our other friend Gatlin Didier, who he's a rancher in Oklahoma. I was like, all four of us, let's just get together and we'll be the Tratter Gang, right? So then we decided to do a meet and greet in Oklahoma in 2020, and it was like the test of like what a country
Is
influencer.
this a thing?
Yeah, like is this a thing? And I remember it was so like it was at a park in Weatherford, Oklahoma, which is not big, and we got there like I think 30 minutes before like we were supposed to show up. There was like three people there. I was like, oh my god, like we thought we were like we thought we were something. So we went back to our buddy's house, and I was like, this is when I still drank. I said, where's the tequila? I need to get this embarrassment out of my system, right? So I just took some liquid courage. Um, but then we go back, and we're in the back of this Ford Ranger, and there's like line of kids, like 3 football fields long, and we're like, holy crap! Like these kids really showed up. So we did a whole meet and greet in the middle of Weatherford, Oklahoma, and it was awesome. And that was kind of like the start of like, dang, Tratters is really a thing. Um, and then from there, we did like a mini summer tour, like going around and doing some stuff, and doing some more meet and greets and some appearances. And then Gatlin went back to Oklahoma, and Zach went back to Nebraska. Zach really just wanted to farm, and Gatlin had some other stuff to take care of. And me and BMO were like, well, we can't really just give up. Like, can't
Mm-hmm.
stop. I was like, what if we just move in together? so so we got a sponsor, and that's when we started the Trotter House, and that was originally what the merch line was going to be. And I was like, well, let's make a content house. Like content houses are a thing. Like you have a hype house, you have some other houses. Like let's do one for country people. So we were like the first kind of content house, and we moved in I think 2022. Yeah, and then that's when I got BMO, Caden, and then at one point we had like 15 influencers over the house, and it was crazy. It was exactly what it like looked like online, and um, and then we just started reaching out to brands like, hey, we have our network of influencers, like let's work together. So we worked with Warner Music Nashville, and we had Bailey Zimmerman come out to the house before. I remember I was sitting on the couch with Bailey Zimmerman. He's like, "Bro, I just hit 20,000 followers on Instagram," and now he's like had 16 million monthly listeners on Spotify, which is
That's awesome.
like insane. So we've helped Bailey with his music. We've obviously helped Ariat with their brand presence. We did some school visits from WT for their ag department. And it just grew into a brand. And now as we mature, it's like, okay, well, we've done this. Let's help other people do it. So now we're launching another country music artist. We started our nonprofit to give back. And yeah, we have a few more projects coming in the future. So yeah, it's just
That's
turned
awesome.
into a brand where it's like, if you need influencers, we got influencers because I know everybody. Or if you need management, I have management. Or if you need just content creation coaching, I can coach. So it's kind of a multifaceted business at this point.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
That's really cool. Well, Scout, what do you think about our last question?
Yeah, okay. So we release these podcasts on Sunday nights as a soft launch to Monday. So we wrap up every guest podcast with what is your soft launch to Monday, which can really be anything on how you prepare for the week ahead. So, yeah. What is your soft launch to Monday?
My soft launch to Monday. What is that like? What is a soft launch? I don't understand. Like, do you mean it's like?
So what we usually talk about soft launches, right, in marketing is like, maybe we'll post it on our own social first, but there's like a full rollout release plan later, right?
Little
So
teaser.
the idea
So it's like a
idea
tease.
is like, how do you tease your way into the week, right?
Oh,
How do you like dip your toe into the week, you know?
I have to start off with my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I can't do anything without him. I have to surrender the day to him because I don't. A lot of things are out of my control, and the more that I realize they're not in my control, the easier my day seems to go. So like, I don't know if you can see it, but that's my soft launch to Monday.
I love that.
I have a prayer right there that I wrote, and then every 2 weeks I have a memory verse. So I got Romans 8:18 up there, and then I have this prayer that I wrote, and I get on my knees right there, and I surrender my day to him. And it's like that's my soft launch to Monday because there's going to be things that I can't control, and the more that I just give up control, the more that I feel closer to God. So yeah.
Absolutely. That's great. We've
That's
had
perfect.
a good bit of that, and I always love to hear that.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, it's been good. Thank you for that.
Well, Nick, it's been an absolute pleasure, as always, to chat with you. You are one of my favorite people on the internet, and getting to run into you in person or virtually is always something that I look forward to. Anything else that we didn't cover before we go that you wish we would have talked about?
Not really. There's just so much. It's like
Yeah.
I could talk forever, but
we could do a whole series with Nick.
yeah. Because there's so many facets in between business to mental health to influence to social media marketing, and it's like my brain just absorbs all this knowledge that I love to give to people. So, but we kind of hit everything. So I'm
Cool.
I'm happy.
Little preview anyway, but
Yeah.
lots of places to follow you. Can you give us the list?
Yeah. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. Those are the main three. So Snapchat is where you see like the more of the behind the scenes of my life. My dogs, my horse, and things that workouts, things like that. Instagram more mental health content, and then TikTok you're gonna see a lot of fit checks. So
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you. We appreciate you, and we'll probably have you on again sometime.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank y'all for having me.
Thanks,
Thank you
Nick.
so much.
See ya.